Hey everybody, Jody from Watercraft Network. Our sponsored rider, Shelby Warman. With the IROC class that Shelby races in, we need all the advantage we can get. We only have so many things that we can actually do and change. With the liquid moly and the advanced additives that are inside this oil, gives us the extra advantage we need to run up front. We've been on board with Liquid Moly right from the get-go. From their product launch, it's been absolutely superior.
Today was such a blast, especially in the IROC going pro. The course was really great. It was really technical. And thank you to everyone watching, and thank you to Liquid Moly.
Wow, that's a different commercial.
Thank you to Liquid Moly. Well said, Shelby Warman. Liquid Moly. Gotta love anybody who doesn't know Gary and doesn't know a Liquid Moly. You gotta lift that rock up, get out from underneath that rock, and recognize.
Well, look at you looking like John Cena.
Hey, I mean, sometimes if you
Maybe
want to.
John Cena's grandfather.
Hey,
What?
we got super producer back.
I was just gonna say, it's the original Bad Boys of PWC podcast, the brand the haters can't stand. I'm Biggie. We got Diddy. We got DJ Bishop over there, aka DJ Clue, and we'll even give intern a shout out. We'll even give intern a shout out, as we'll call him Little C's, who's part of Biggie's posse. So Little C's over there doing the sharing for us, and we're back. Yeah, it's Watercraft Network Wednesday. Eventful week since we last saw you. The gang was up there. Jody got locked up. In the clink. Fortunately, he had some bail money.
No.
So before
I got Uncle Mario up in the big office.
Well, I'm just saying,
giving me bail reform. Out like that.
Just saying, before the soap got dropped, you were
I was out.
You were able to get out. You know what I mean? So,
I was out.
So good thing. But in all seriousness, it was really nice. The gang was up helping out a multi-agency exercise for second year in a row. Really, really nice to be able to work with law enforcement, especially as we see throughout the community, a lot of bans and restrictions starting to come into play within, in terms of personal watercraft.
Yeah, we were a little bit more involved this year.
Yeah, I think it's...
Your daughter, by the way, threw me right under the bus.
It was her job.
It was like, wow, the girl on the jet ski gave us a really accurate description. And I'm like,
well,
okay.
I mean, law enforcement did give her the description. She had to recite it verbatim. So, but really, really nice to work with them and our fellow safety advocacy partners here in the area. As we see, the volume of personal watercraft focus in terms of operator safety really starting to become under a microscope. And I just saw, Laura Newkirk last week from Jet Ski Life of Charleston shared that there's state legislation for licensing, which is obviously not mandatory down there.
No, but it's happening here in New York.
It's happening in a lot of states where I was actually talking to our brother from the West Coast, Dougie Wolf. Same thing happening in California for all boaters, phasing in education like they're doing here in New York. So, if your state doesn't currently require a boating certification class for your boat or your personal watercraft, it would behoove you to get involved, get certified, and then look to be a certified instructor in your area. There aren't enough personal watercraft operators. It's really part of the problem from our perspective in terms of watercraft PWC education is a lot of the people performing the personal watercraft segment of the education course don't know anything about jet skis.
Well, the problem, too, is that you have to take an 8-hour course here, which is in most states, but you have about a 30-second bit.
Exactly.
As far as PWC safety.
That's what you're 100% right, and I think that's why it's important that groups like us and riders and operators like us get involved in, becoming certified and teaching the safety course, because we go over stuff that's not even in the course, and I think it makes for better boaters and better jet ski riders.
Well, and sorry, New York State, but the stupid part of this whole class is you're required to take the class in order to operate a personal watercraft in the state.
Yeah.
You have literally about 3 minutes worth of course material.
And a lot of it's antiquated. You know?
It doesn't make sense.
You know, they're still talking about, you know, it's funny because here part of the New York State course is they're talking about they want you to go over with the class that personal watercraft have fuel petcocks with on, off, and reserve. And
they circle around when you fall off.
yeah, but most of the modern watercraft that people are buying,
It's all off tethers.
new to the market people, they don't have reserve.
Oh.
Everything, you know, I mean,
They're looking at a gauge on the dash.
you know, so a lot of the material, unfortunately, is antiquated. And I think that's why it's so important that PWC operators, enthusiasts, you know, those of us who have been around and who are seasoned riders get involved with education, become certified, and be able to relay information to new operators and boaters that is, you know, pertinent and useful in terms of reductions of potential incidents.
Well, what really needs to happen, and I was just talking to somebody down from the South Carolina PWC riders there. They show a video and everybody's around. And listen, this is how we're doing things. This is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But you can see it in the video. And actually, you need to get more hands-on training.
I'm a firm believer. I think, you know, eventually it's a matter of time, especially with personal watercraft, not necessarily boats, but I think with jet skis, you're going to see a requirement for some type of, you know, much like they do with kids who are drivers. You know, you have to log X amount of time.
Hold on. You get your driver's license. Now, if you want to go operate a motorcycle, you have to go and get another separate permit and take a separate test.
Exactly.
And it's a skill to be able to ride a motorcycle.
Yep.
So what's any different with a PWC?
I agree. And I think, you know, in a lot of areas, in order for kids to get their driver's license, just to drive a car, and not even a kid, if you're an adult and you want to haven't been licensed yet, you have to log X amount of hours. You have to have 30 road hours. And I think, like you're saying, there's eventually going to be specialized, specific courses for boating and PWC operation. And I hope PWC operation requires that you have to go out and log some time on the machine. Because to just send somebody through an 8-hour course, you know, 40 minutes of which is dedicated to personal watercraft, it's barely enough information for them to go out and operate the vessel safely.
Well, most of the time when we're teaching a course, most of the people in there are in there because of the PWC portion of it. And they're asking questions. So it does, you know, for us, it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then what the state requires, absolutely. I think we get much more granular than the state, you know, does with their curriculum.
And in reality, we should get back to the way we used to do it when we were doing it for the Fulton County Sheriffs.
Yeah,
we would actually bring skis with us.
Yeah, I think it's just been too early in the season for that. You know what I mean? But but so we encourage everybody out there, you know, please get involved in the safety movement in terms of personal watercraft. Please become certified in your area. Become a certified state boating safety instructor. It's
You'll find ways to teach that course to make it interesting. It
Absolutely.
doesn't have to be, oh, yeah, okay, time to take the test.
Exactly.
I mean, we have fun with it.
No, and I think everyone responds really well. You know, I mean, I think, you know, people responded really well to the one we just did in Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just so important that more personal watercraft operators get involved and become certified and really begin to, you know, be part of the resolution process. Because without us being involved, you know, we're just, you know, the odd man out. You know, I mean, they just.
Well, the funny part about it is law enforcement wants us involved.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think good law enforcement recognizes that you take that segment of the community with content expertise and who can understand and relate not just to the vessel but the community and work with them. I think that's just good leadership. You know what I mean? Good management.
Well, if you would watch Shane Mans on that the Fox 23 News clip,
Yeah, it was really good.
He specifically said that we don't want to be out there being the fun police.
I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize when law enforcement says we don't want to be the fun police. I think that's their way of saying, hey, I got a wife, I got kids. The last thing I want to be doing on a Saturday is fishing a dead body out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
What first responder?
The worst part about it is now they have to go to your family and explain why you're not coming home.
Exactly, and I think as human beings and people who genuinely care about society, who become first responders, whether it's a firefighter, an EMT, a law enforcement officer, I think the last thing that those people want to do is pull a dead body or go up to someone who's injured, especially out in like a recreational capacity. That's not what they want. You know what I mean? Do you think that do people really believe that anybody takes any type of joy in fishing people out of the water who have broken legs or
With
just
Jeffrey
hit by?
Dahmer.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think that's what people forget. And that's why the guys up here, the officers up here, do such a good job of explaining to people that hey, we're doing it not because we want to write you a ticket and generate revenue. We're doing it because we want you to be safe out there. And the thing they don't say is, we don't want to see you injured. We don't want to pull someone out of the water who's dead or severely injured. But I think if you look at it like, just logically, who wants to do that? You know what I mean? Who wants to pull somebody out of the water who's got a broken back or a severed leg? Nobody.
One of the things that you were going over in the class was on how quick a propeller blade can go across somebody's body. And you no more than said that, and it was literally, I believe it was on one of the Yamaha Wave Runner owners page. Literally shows the guy's leg sliced, slice, 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 all the way down, all stitched up, happened within seconds.
And that statistic always, for some reason, always sticks with me. Maybe it's because
it's a boat owner. It was the Yamaha Jet Boat Owners page on Facebook.
But that statistic always sticks with me, and I think it's probably because my parents had boats when I was a kid. Everything was propeller driven.
Mm-hmm.
There was no jet back in the day, and I always remember being cautious of going back to the boat, whether it was water skiing or just jumping off and climbing back on, and ensuring the boat was in neutral. And that, for whatever reason, that statistic where it says in one, it was under a second. I forget the exact, whether it was 0.2 of a second or six. I forget the exact figure, but in less than 1 second, an outboard propeller has the ability to cut a human being from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
That's just mind-boggling, and I think
it was mind-boggling to sit there and watch the slashes down this person's leg.
Yeah,
it didn't show the rest of the body. It was just literally there were sections like this wrapped around.
Man, I think that's why they're really pushing that whole shut the vessel off. If someone's going to reboard or someone's on a swim, shut it off. And I think it's smart that they're doing that. Because stuff happens. You're in neutral. Get your hand on the throttle, wave or something happens, you put the boat in reverse or by accident, or even at idle speed. Somebody's getting cut up pretty quick.
Well, when we had our outboard, I've told the story at the boater safety course.
Yep.
I used to turn the outdrive away from the ladder.
Yeah.
And the one time I didn't, I got an intimate look at my wife's knee.
Ugh, that
was the one time I made that mistake.
Scary. So safety is just so paramount as we get into peak ride season, as summer starts to approach and all of these events start to kick off. And
speaking of events, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're really excited. It's really become the event. I think that all other recreational events are gauged by or compared to or trying to reach that status.
And this is their 3rd year.
Talking the Belly Buster Rib Ride, Lake Hartwell, Georgia. Just such a great collaborative event by a couple of the groups in the Carolinas, Carolina Ski Riders, Carolina Watercraft Club, in conjunction with Pro Watercross. Pro Watercross, obviously, their events just attract premier talent and are just amazing venues, and CBS Sports, and the whole mainstream.
And they got a ton of sponsors this year. I think it's almost more than last year.
There's no way to express this. How I think the thing about the Belly Buster and the reason it experiences so much success is because it is a genuine grassroots, passion-driven event. Scott and Rodney conceptualized that, and that was their bait. Hey, why can't an event like Hartwell, Georgia, one of the hands down one of the most popular
tour stops
in the country. I mean, you talk to anybody that goes, I was talking to the Money Sponge, young Kenny Compton, just seeing how Kenny's doing, and he's like, yeah, I can't wait for Hartwell. Glad you guys are going. It's just such an amazing tour stop. And for Scott and Rodney, Carolina Watercraft Club, Carolina Ski Riders, to really push that idea and say, hey, we can marry a recreational event to this, and not just a recreational event, with an absolute fiesta in terms of a beach barbecue, 600.
And that they open their arms. They listen, guys, come on in. Yeah, we're doing a rec ride, but racers, come on over.
Yeah, just true Southern hospitality, and it speaks volumes to their character, who they are as human beings, to just go to the lengths that they've gone to.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, Scott's from up our neck of the woods here.
Yeah, I know. There's a little bit of northeastern Vermonter. He's a transplanted, southern guy, but I mean they're just quality human beings. It doesn't matter where you're from. Either you're an asshole or you're a good person, and those guys are just really, really good people. And like I said, they've been able to really do a great job of networking with other groups and other entities, and just absolutely amazing. If you're anywhere near, within driving distance of Hartwell, we're going to be driving 14, 15 hours just to get down there. And, if you're anywhere within driving distance, we strongly encourage that you make it down to the Lake Hartwell tour stop for the Belly Buster recreational rib ride. They have multiple watercraft that they're raffling off. 600.
And the ride is badass.
Oh, yeah. Well, that lake, Lake Hartwell, Georgia, for those, just Google it. It's unbelievable.
That thing's massive.
It's probably the size of the state of Rhode Island.
I don't know if they're going to do the same ride as they did last year, but the ride they did last year, a couple waterfalls.
Yeah.
And then I think COVID kind of screwed
a
lot of things up, because they were going to go to a different site on Sunday, which is not part of the ride.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those. It was a lake with a ton of waterfalls around it, but the way they brought you through this, it was organized, it was professional. AJ from Pro Watercross was involved in it. Personally thanked everybody for coming.
Yeah, it's nice.
The ribs are badass.
Yeah,
they were awesome.
Just an amazing event, and I think again, all other events are really trying to follow suit and do something similar, and kind of ride the coattails of what these guys have created, with just an incredible formula, and just absolutely. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's
there.
Up
It
on
is. There's the poster for it right
but
there.
That's the lake.
That's the
literally,
lake.
there's.
No, that's an old poster.
Yeah, but it's a great
still,
poster.
It's a great representation of the size of that lake.
Massive.
And all of the little
It only looks this
tributaries and
big.
fingers, and you can go riding for days and never see the same spot of water.
Amazing.
You know what would be cool, though?
What?
Riding that lake during home game for Clemson.
Oh, kidding me? That would be.
Watching everybody out there tailgate in the lake.
Oh man, that would be absolutely. Go over and get some barbecue from those, those Clemson Tennessee game or something. Oh, it'd be outrageous, absolutely outrageous. But yeah, so really psyched about the Belly Buster. If you're able to make it down, well worth the trip. Now that all the COVID restrictions are starting to relax and we can all gather and have fun together, really, really looking forward to Lake Hartwell and the Belly Buster and, some good racing through Pro Watercross, great recreational ride. And again, can't thank all the sponsors enough. I know that SBT Watercraft Superstore has done a lot for them down there at Belly Buster.
Flag tip.
Yeah.
The sponsors they had last year, they even have the local banks.
Yeah, I saw that
involved.
TD Bank North.
Yep.
But they have so many people involved, so many entities. I can't see that, in terms of looking at but you see
they got our buddy Chris from PWC, Doctor.
Of course.
I don't want to say as usual, but Chris is involved in every event.
Yeah, you see all those sponsors up there on that. Torrent Pumps is there. I think
Bobinski.
Bopinski's there. Fresh and Salty, Jet Pilot, Bomber.
Actually,
Riva.
I think Fresh and Salty's giving away a cart.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Torrent Pumps, Brian from Torrent Pumps, PWC Muscle. I think is PWC Brackets. I believe that logo is.
Yeah.
Yep.
TD Bank. Just Pro Rider, just everybody involved. PerformX Stitch. Those guys do really, really nice work. Really nice work. Black Tip SBT. Just an absolutely incredible.
PWC Muscle, I think you just said them, right?
Yeah,
but they're always involved. Doesn't matter the event.
Oh, those guys are involved in everything. You got to give them credit, and they have been for years. They always give back to the community. They did a great podcast for years. I wish they would come back. They really did a nice show, and I enjoyed watching their stuff. But PWC Muscle out of Florida, obviously everyone, if you don't know, premier supercharger rebuilder here in the East Coast. If you're anywhere,
it gets rebuilt right, and it gets rebuilt for about what you would invest in the tools in the supercharger kit,
and timely turnaround too.
Yep.
Those guys they really know their stuff, and they're really, really good at what they do. Shout out to PWC Muscle, really, really quality products.
I'm kind of looking forward to Mike Cabrera Motorsports ECU.
Oh, there you go. A little shout out to David Cabrera Motorsports.
I can't wait for that bad boy to get that back in the boat and see what we can get Shelby's boat up to.
No wonder all those Broward boats are so fast. You talk to that guy for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, you're looking at another 600 RPMs just by getting on the phone. And
there's a bunch of other stuff. It was just like, all right, once we do this, we're going to do this, and this, and we'll get that boat where it needs to be. And it's like, what?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I can't wait.
Those guys, anybody who hasn't checked them out, Cabrera Motorsports doing a lot of ECU tuning for in conjunction with a lot of their partners down there with Team Mean, Broward Motorsports, and the Cabrera boats for years have been top runners in stand-up class. And
our buddy Arnold Martinez there, who we've talked to a few times.
Yeah,
it's been tuned by David, and that boat screamed
animals.
Actually, he just told me today that he's sold that EX, but he's number 1 in points.
Wow, good for him. Congratulations. That's absolutely fantastic. So we got that going on. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Jet Fest coming up in September. We know there's a lot of events from now until September, but Jet Fest September 11th here in the Adirondacks of upstate New York. Really, hands down. You talk events in the Northeast. A lot of great events in the Northeast. A lot of great locations. Events for great causes, but you will never, I don't care what event it is, where it is.
There's nothing like the Great Sacandaga.
You'll never find another event being hosted within the Forest Preserve of the Adirondack Mountains. We're at world-class destination. You talk God's country, rural as rural can be, cleanest water, American bald eagles flying with, last summer we saw an eagle pick a fish off. It is absolutely amazing.
What, it was about 100 yards from us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
right?
Yeah,
I got pictures of it
Yeah,
that I
that
never
was
posted.
crazy.
we're incredibly blessed. Our playground in the summer is amongst the most beautiful in the Northeast. I mean, that's why people from all over the world come to the Adirondacks. It's truly underdeveloped natural beauty. People who always think New York, you think New York City. If you've never been to the Adirondacks,
You could clip that off the map.
never been to the Adirondacks, please plan September 11th this year. We're going to memorialize a good friend who we lost far too soon and have some fun. And Jet Fest is a festival. It's a personal watercraft festival, so we're going to memorialize our buddy with a send off. The way we like to do things: ride some jet skis, then hang
So,
up our
Jared,
lanyards, have a couple cocktails. So really looking forward to that, and got a lot going on with that. A lot of developments throughout the next couple months
Still
that
have
we'll
a
touch on.
lot to do once Hartwell's over.
It is a lot to do. Start working. Speaking of a lot to do, we'll start working on the Daytona Hurricane. We talked torrent pumps earlier. We're helping torrent pumps with the 2022. Sorry, I was going to say one. Thank you. 2022 Torrent Pumps Daytona Free Ride in January of next year. We're helping with that build. It's a Polaris Hurricane with a 701 Yamaha motor in it. I'm sorry, a 760 motor, thanks to our
760,
friends at SBT Watercraft Superstore. Shout out to Skellet Motorsports. They donated a Reva Red pipe. We got that build coming up over the summer. Our plan is to deliver that Polaris
Jet Fest,
Hurricane
right?
at Jet Fest. Yeah, deliver it at Jet Fest to Brian from Torrent Pumps. Anybody out there wants to get involved, help that sponsor that build, any parts, get your logo on that machine. Really, the best thing to do would be to reach out and talk to Torrent Pumps. You can get a hold of us here at Watercraft Network, but this is going to be a one-of-a-kind machine where it's a Polaris Hurricane with the Yamaha 760 and an aftermarket exhaust, and all the proceeds that Torrent generates from that raffle will go to Roswell Park Cancer Research Institute. So, like I said, a lot of great events throughout this season into early next year. Now that we're kind of can see the forest through the trees with COVID, if you're going to events, please be super careful. Remember that every incident and every negative situation that results from a PWC event, even if it's trash being left at a boat launch,
Usually falls back on
reflects,
PWC.
yeah, reflects on the entire community. So you know what? You're going to a PWC event this year, throw a trash bag in your vehicle. Help out. Most personal watercraft operators aren't those people anyway. We're the ones that are picking trash up in the parking lot, and it really goes a long way. So you just have to remember that any event that you're involved with, affiliated with, attend in any way, shape, form, or capacity. Your actions and behaviors reflect back on the entire community. So
Don't forget about round 4 this weekend, South Padre Island, Texas, for a Watercross National Tour.
Yeah, look, good call and great catch, and we wish we were there.
That's a hell of a ride for us.
That's a hike,
Oh
but
my
that is
God.
a beautiful area.
That's got to be, what, 36-plus hour drive?
I don't know how far it is, but
Yeah, it's a drive.
just seeing pictures of that area, man, they just do such a great job of finding amazing venues. When you look at the pro watercross venues that they find, there's just kudos to them for doing such an amazing job, especially through COVID, picking up, especially, starting this year then with Daytona, then St. Pete, on to Panama City. They've just done such a good job of selecting venues, really, really quality venues, and being able to, really be the only ones during last year that were actually hosting races.
And being able to pull them off, yeah.
Yeah, and then continuing into 2021, still under COVID restrictions in some municipalities or geographical regions, and being able to obtain permits, and just absolutely amazing what Pro Watercross has been able to do. But that's South Padre Island, Texas. It just looks amazing. that's one of those I've got to get there at some point. Just absolutely beautiful. So, safe travels to everyone who's going down there. Nice. Hopefully, everyone has a great time. All the racing is safe and spirited.
Next week, you got a special guest coming on, which we're not going to quite reveal yet.
Oh, we're going to keep something under the hat.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we'll have a little bit of fun next week, but we have to give a little bit of love and shout out. Got to give love to, as we referenced, Watercraft Superstore SBT. Just one of the leaders within the community, always supporting events like the Belly Buster, like the really the largest event in North America, personal watercraft event, Daytona Freeride. Just absolutely amazing what Watercraft Superstore SBT does to support the community, let alone the volume of product that they have there in conjunction with unparalleled customer service. There's no reason to order anywhere else. If you need something,
Jet pilot gear,
anything you
covers.
need, really anything you need, Watercraft Superstore. I mean, it's just anything you need parts-wise, OEM parts, aftermarket parts, accessories, except your oil. You're gonna order oil, you gotta get a hold of Gary, Liquid Molly.
Absolutely.
But everything else, just your one-stop shop, Watercraft Superstore SBT.
And speaking of, those guys at Liquid Molly did a bang-up job on that little commercial that he released this week, or actually today. And I got to tell you something. Trying it, no cue cards, no nothing. That's harder than it looked.
Oh, I think it's got to be. It's got to be.
It's absolutely harder than it looked.
And I'll tell you, I mean, you don't see other oil companies investing in this community to that magnitude.
Oh no.
I don't care who they are. I mean, there's a lot of people that, that say they have other lubricants companies involved in supporting this sport, this community, this lifestyle.
Not the way these guys do.
And we got to throw the BS card right on the table, because there's nobody, and quite honestly, nobody can stand behind their product the way Liquid Molly can. I mean, you talk to Gary for 5 minutes. You talk to anyone at Liquid Molly about how they source their product for batching, for blending. There's no other oil company in the industry doing what Liquid Molly's doing.
I'm telling you, it's liquid gold.
There's nobody doing it. There's nobody doing it. And you wonder why you're seeing it now in some of the really premier, highly tuned, high performance machines on the water now. You see a guy like Sam Nemi at Broward Motorsports, 6 or 8 stores all over Florida now selling Liquid Molly product because it's now available.
And using it.
He's no idiot. I mean, he knows what a lot of the European champions run in sport bikes, dirt bikes, Formula One cars. I mean, guy who has the type of vehicles that he has heard of Liquid Molly before in different applications. So great product, and again, the degree to which they invest in the sport is just unparalleled, and we're so happy to have established a relationship with them. So grateful for what they do, and we're turning people onto their product all the time. We're like the high school weed dealer. We're like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, I'll sell you a joint. Come here, come on over.
Now I know why Jody got
so
arrested.
I think that's about it then, right? Were we good for tonight?
No.
One more?
Got a little more love.
You're always spreading the love.
Hey man, I mean, you got to try. You got to give some love to Bombers. Best eyewear in the personal watercraft industry. If you're not wearing Bombers, you're wearing something that's going to sink.
Should we make intern laugh?
Absolutely the best. Intern likes those. He's got, I saw your daughter wearing them.
Oh yeah.
When she was out riding.
Yeah,
they're badass. They're just they're really a high quality product. And as we've said over and over again, you drop them in the water, you're not going to lose them.
Oh, one thing that they don't withstand is stepping on them.
Oh, you stepped on yours?
Well, my working pair.
Oh, ouch.
All right.
Can I say
I
it?
got my Reggies.
Can I say it?
What?
Dumbass.
I know. Well, I weigh 142 pounds, so.
When you were in fourth grade.
Your left thigh?
Before that, maybe when you shaved that beard and you were baby face,
Oh, boy.
But
There's a little bit more believable.
hey, also, big time love going out to our friends at WSM Performance Products. You know, we say it all the time. Uh, great line of aftermarket performance products. You know, we're in a
Speaking of bombers, it's
What?
Tommy Bonacci's birthday today.
Oh, that's right. Good catch. Yeah, happy birthday
So
to
I
the
didn't mean to interrupt you on that.
No,
one,
no,
but
no. Happy birthday to the bomber himself. You know, wish we could share a Budweiser King of Beers with you. You know, big love going out to Tommy. That's right. I'm sure he's celebrating his 39th birthday today in style with his beautiful wife. So happy 39th to you, Tommy. You don't look a day over 35. But you know, back to
back to WSM.
yeah, WSM Performance Products. You know, you know, for those that don't know, try and find a two-stroke crankshaft brand new. Everybody's 10, 12 weeks out. Everything's gone. Huge shout out to our friends at WSM. You know, able to get us a crank bearing for the motor that we're utilizing to build for Jet Fest, for our Yamaha Wave Blaster, which will be one of the raffle items. Needed a mag side crank bearing. Called our friends at WSM Performance Products, had the bearing in stock. Boom. Had it the very next day. New York to New York. Unbelievable. WSM Performance Products. You know, if you need anything performance related, another great resource is WSM. Also, got to give big love going out to Jet Pilot. Jet Pilot working with us and some of our safety first responders here in the region. I was copied on an email with Tanya, doing some work with one of the fire departments in the area. I linked them up, and Tanya's getting them all types of vests for the fire department through a special first responder program that they have. So, you know, we're turning on the firefighters to Jet Pilot, you know, and great relationship there. And we can't thank Jet Pilot enough for working with regional first responders to get them into the gear that they're going to need in the event they do have to go out on the water. So a lot of love going out to Jet Pilot. I think that's about it, right?
That's it.
All right, be safe out there. You know, while air temp's starting to warm up, water's starting to cool, starting to de-thaw. So, you know, when you're out there, be safe. And we're back next Wednesday. I guess we'll have a special guest then. If not, you know, we'll just have some fun. That's what it's all about.
Freestyle.